All right, we are live. Crazy. In the past hour, had Napster Man be called into work and Davis be broken down the side of the road and all sorts of other stuff going on here at the house. And just good stuff. But it's the last day of the 2013 Daily Fantasy Insiders TV NBA edition, brought to you by DraftDay of 2013. So there you go. Tomorrow, it will be a new year. And if you have already played the early slate and you played Paul Millsap, then you've been rewarded. If you went on a limb and played Jared Solinger or Jordan Crawford, not so much. So hopefully you can make it back out. Or you make it back. All right, we're just going to jump right into it. If you want to call in, we are going to take your call, and let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens on the show. So you see the call in number 323-262 FITV. That's 323-262 FITV. Papa Cub, I'm expecting you to call in now, and so we can have some Papa Cub on the show. Hopefully, you won't be able to get the background noise that you had last time. And yes, Al, it is an LA number because that was really the one popular area code that had FITV. So we're doing it big. I mean, you know how they do it in LA. You know how they do it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Also, ask them on Twitter at SoccerDave. Just got a picture on chat or on Twitter. Thank you, Mr. 42. Very nice. So let's get to some phone calls. Anytime someone wants to call in, just get to some phone calls. We'll start with today's news, though, until we get that one phone call. Someone please call in. Just please call in. Some of today's news. There's not a lot of games going on tonight. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo, or the Greek Freak, or the ABCs, however you want to say it. If you haven't read Davis Maddox's article, it's available on fantasyinsiders.com. He's being moved to the 3, Chris Middleton being moved to the bench, and then Luke Ridnour being moved to the 2. So there you have that. It really kind of diminishes the value for Chris Middleton the most, I think. And it also, for those that do not like yourself and want to play Ersan tonight, it's a bit of a gamble, because if he doesn't perform well, they can just bring Chris Middleton in at that 4 spot. Hello, caller. You're on the line.
First-time caller, long-time listener.
Who is this?
I have a question for you. After your wonderful decision of Will Byam late last night, what do you think about Larry Sanders today?
Larry Sanders is a guy that I'm targeting, and I targeted my early lineups, and I am targeting in my later lineups just because it's Larry Sanders, and he can do so much damage. He can do damage to your heart if you want to, if he doesn't perform. But I like Larry Sanders tonight. There's just not a lot of big men options. You've got Pau Gasol for the Lakers. However, you have reading the reports on Twitter, the beat writer said that he still didn't sound good with whatever's going on with his chest. So Larry Sanders is a guy that I like, especially with John Henson being out. He's going to get plenty of time, and I don't think this game poses a risk for foul trouble. So completely okay if you want to play Larry Sanders.
Good show. Thank you for the call.
All right, thank you. First call, man. That was cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was cool. I have a link, Al, from Draft Street, but you can only see the people that he did play. Devil Ball 420. Thanks for calling in, man. Powell only 6K on DK. That is definitely... with the lack of big man options, I think it's okay if his price is low enough if you want to gamble on Gasol. There's just not a ton of options out there. And you also have, with that Laker situation, I'm pretty sure that, Xavier Henry, of course, is going to be out. They're dropping like flies. But you also have, I think Sean Williams is going to be starting tonight. Gastroenteritis. I don't know what it's called. I don't even know. I think that just means your stomach is upset. But anyways, there is talk. Devo Brain says Kendall Marshall if he's bare minimum. There's talk about Wes Johnson being sidelined with gastroenteritis. So if that's how you say it. No one else back up Farmar. Yes, and Kendall Marshall looked good when he was playing last game. So a decent backup. He got some minutes, and he actually made a few shots. So not bad at all. Getting to this game. Oh, man. I love the fans. Love the people on Twitter. Getting to this Brooklyn game, you have Tyshawn Taylor not going to be starting tonight. And that's going to, I don't know. I've got Darren Williams in my early lineup. It was a choice between Darren and Damian Lillard, and I just didn't feel comfortable with Lillard on a back-to-back. But I still think he can have a fine game. I think that a lot of upside though is with Darren Williams. They have AK-47, who's supposed to be available tonight, even going against the Spurs. He is one of those sneaky under-the-radar plays for me. Has been playing well. I think he's getting healthier, which is obviously the number one concern with him. So looking for a decent game out of him. Does AK-47 lessen Mirza's value tonight? Yes, he does. For sure. Karolinko, for those asking who it is. Yes, we have another caller on the line. Who is this?
Yes, I'm looking for Randy.
You're looking for Randy? You're on Insiders TV. Randy is not here.
He goes by Devil Ball. Yes, I'm looking for Randy.
Yes, Devil Ball just called in. Do you have a question for us? Hello? Oh, man. That was actually a different phone number. Randy just called in on a different number, and someone else called in. I don't have caller ID. Someone call in and order a pizza. This show is exactly what I would expect on the last day of 2013 for a show. It's just so fitting. Let's take a look at some of the other games out there. Sean Marion not available to play tonight. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Well, hello.
Hello, who is this?
I've got a call from Idaho here.
Okay, Idaho. What is your daily fantasy tag name?
I go by S. Beazleton.
S. Beaselton on the line. Very nice. Well,
I have a question.
Okay.
It's night to deploy Spurs backups.
To play who's backup?
The Spurs.
The Spurs backups. I don't know if it is or not. You take a look at what the line is. Instead of like their backups, I would think a guy like Kawhi Leonard would be the guy that you would probably want to target. Someone who in a Condia's lineup on FanDuel, he had Leonard and Tony Parker, so he's not counting on the backups. I think with the other games out there, I don't think you have to go with Spurs backups unless we hear any news before 6 o'clock Central Time. That is. Okay. I don't think tonight is a night to go Spurs backups. Ginobili is another guy that they talked about in the chat. He, of course, went off the other night. Boris Diaw, I would not suggest going Boris Diaw. I've tried that once or twice this season. Didn't exactly pan out. So my advice would be, unless we hear anything, the backups stay away from. If you want to target some of those other players besides Parker or Duncan, like Leonard or Gino, you can. So.
Okay. Are we worried about a blowout factor?
Blowouts are so hard to predict. So you have that line is let me pull it up. You have that line at a 12, and it's at home, but it's so tough to predict blowouts. Instead of like playing my philosophy is, instead of really playing a backup person from the team that looks like it's going to blow out another team, I just stay away from them altogether. Because there is certainly that chance, but there's also the chance that it's a good game. I mean, just look at what the Clippers did last night against Phoenix in LA. They had a bad night, and it was actually a good game. And you had the blowout factor on the other side, but still, you never know what's going to happen. So playing backups strictly because of the blowout factor is very risky, and I would not suggest it unless you have a few entries, a few dollars to burn in some large tournaments. Sound good, S. Beaselton?
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate you calling in.
Uh-huh.
Very cool. So we've got 3 calls. One call was legit. I think that number called in again. Let's see if I don't know if we can call out to it. Yep.
I think that number called in again.
Caller, can you turn on your radio, please?
Yeah, Dave, it's Papa.
Papa, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm sad to hear that Davis is having trouble. He probably was trying to put his shirt on and his jersey on. It probably drove him off the road or something. But I was going to mention something about the Lakers, is that they had posted yesterday that Farmer was dealing with a hamstring that was tweaked.
Yeah, he was on the bench for the end of that Lakers game. And you have Henry that went out, and you've got Wes Johnson with stomach problems. I mean, they are looking like the walking wounded tonight. And this game is going to be. I'm surprised the game is as high of an over/under as it is at 204, because it's, like I said, it's the walking wounded out there. So maybe Jody Meeks is a guy, and Nick Young, obviously, 2 guys that I'm looking at. And Sean Williams had a really nice game, and he might be forced more to play in that 3 spot or the 4 spot, depending on how they how they use their guards and how they use. I mean, you might see Jody Meeks at the point guard when Kendall Marshall or Farmer is not in there. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm staying away from Farmar tonight.
Yeah, I think also it'll be interesting to see if anything comes out about Gasol, because that would really affect Jordan Hill, but his price has gone way up.
Yeah, you've got Jordan Hill, Paul Kamen, and so Devo Brain says he doesn't like Sean Williams because of that, and I agree. I mean, he's definitely a risk, but like I said, he still might be playing that 3 spot. Kamen didn't really play a lot of minutes either, so it's definitely target the guards tonight. But I'm glad that you're concerned about Davis. That's always good to hear that people concerned about Davis. And for those that are concerned about Davis, I do have it on record that he got 8 hours of sleep last night, so he's feeling good.
Well, both you guys did an incredible job yesterday. This whole thing that you've got going is so needed and so great for the industry, and it really is helpful. And you can tell not just by how it's growing in the chat, but it's really getting a lot of people to form, friendships through the, chat, and it's just been an exciting time. So I can only hope that next year, not just that the prizes will go up, that there will be a lot of different types of games that are being offered. I think the sites are getting more creative at doing things like that, so I'm excited about that as well.
Definitely. I'm trying to find, I think I may even have it right here. No, it's on the shelf somewhere. But I've got your book. I was just reading in it the other night. I wanted to show people the book that you got. That you sent me. And who would have thought that I would have been receiving a parenting book from someone that had a hand in writing it, but from someone from the fantasy community. Someone that, listen, I'm not going to lie. I could not stand Papa Cub last year. And it was very immature. And the reason why is because he took 2 of my draft street seats. And so this was like when people didn't really know each other, because I didn't really know Dink Piece. I thought that Dink Piece, which is our good friend Drew Dinkmar, who hosts a show and who's Papa Cub's son, I thought that he was just a jerk. And that this is without like even talking to these guys. And I feel like last year, or the first part of 2013, you were judging people just on playing them. Not really even on the chat or getting to know them, but just on playing them. And now, with these shows and with the chat and with Twitter, you actually get to know people. And yes, you do form friendships. And we joke about it all the time, but, we have internet friends. And that makes us cool to some people. But I really appreciate you saying that, Papa, and I wish you the best in 2014.
Well, I appreciate that, and I want to give a chance for other people to call in, but I really think that there are a lot of names out there that you can, obviously rattle off with Al and Dan and yourself and, Peter and a lot of these guys. I'm sure that just by omission I'll offend someone, but with you guys getting out there on these trips and getting to actually, meet each other and share different things, not just about the fantasy, but getting to know families and stuff, it really has been great to be able to see you guys with your shows, in particular you and Al, for example, and have you guys talk about your families or as active as you guys are on Twitter. I think it just really helps everybody to feel a part of it, whether or not they're quote-unquote one of the elite players or not. So I think that's a big part of it. The other thing is that, I would like to just say that if you can't find the book, I didn't send you a team book. Many of my clients say that they use the team book by throwing it at their kids. And obviously we have to report those people to the authorities, but I hope you didn't use it to throw at the dog. But anyway, I want to say to everybody out there in the DFS community and the Fantasy Insiders, I hope you have a great 2014. I'll look forward to chatting it up with you guys, and I hope you can hang in there with Al and my dad humor and my pun humor with Dave.
Very nice. Well, really appreciate you saying that, and appreciate you calling in as well.
You got it. All right. Best of luck. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bud. We had a few, I guess, LA numbers. Maybe one of them was out. I don't know. But 323 area code called in. Unfortunately, with the call-in system, I can't put you on hold like to do on the big shows. So you'll just have to redial. But yeah, so good stuff. I mean, that's the thing, what he was talking about. I mean, really, Papa Cub, I did not like him because I had a bad beat last year with Blake Griffin. All I needed was like 2 points, and I would have won a qualifier for Draft Street. And all of a sudden, the reserves come in this was like middle of the third quarter, and they just took over. And Blake and Chris Paul never saw the floor again, and I lost. And I was bitter at Papa Cub, even though he didn't do anything, and he didn't even say anything to me. But it's funny how that stuff kind of clouds your judgment. And now knowing all these people, you feel bad for even thinking that. Caller, you're on the line. Who is this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I was just calling because I live down the street from you, and your daughter come to my house today, and she kicked my dog.
She did.
This is Kirpan. Your daughter come to my house today, and she come on my property, and then she kicked my dog, and now my dog needs operation.
The funny thing is
why
that
did she do it?
my dog
You don't act stupid. You don't ask dumb question.
Oh,
no,
man.
you just shut up. You try to confuse. I'm going to call the police, and then you're going to go to jail. Shut up. You shut up, you. Shut up, you stink. You know I'm right. You bastard.
Oh,
Just been
my
pranked.
cheeks are hurting. I'm
Courtesy
laughing
of
so hard.
PrankOwl.com.
Oh, good stuff. Appreciate that. Obviously, my daughter, the only thing my daughter is kicking is my wife's ribs. And crazy that someone would accuse her of kicking their dog. Let's see. Oh, man. So we have some good comments in the show. Let's get back on track to some of the games. The highest total for tonight's game, and the one that you probably should be targeting the most, if not that Lakers and Bucks game, just because of the value there, is the Rockets and Kings. There was some chatter earlier in the day about Rudy Gay guarding James Harden, switching on James Harden. I don't think that really does anything because you had McLemore playing over 31 minutes last game, and they're continuing to use him, and he's just going to have to take his bumps. And if you did switch, he would be on Parsons, and that would be an even worse matchup. Caller, you're on the line. Who is this? Are you there? Mr. 508 area code. This is why I need a producer to basically thin out these phone calls, so I know who's real and who's not. 508 is Massachusetts. Well, unfortunately, he is not there. Something is wrong with his phone. But getting back to that game, we have the Rockets and the Kings, and Isaiah Thomas is another guy who just is someone who I look to have a very good game. He's been tearing it up. There's no Patrick Beverley, so I'm all about Isaiah Thomas. Mr. 925, who is this?
Hey, this is 4th and 20. I got a question for you about the Rockets and Sacramento game.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Sacramento power forwards tonight?
The Sacramento power forwards. Are you talking about Jason Thompson and Derek Williams?
I am. I think Jason Thompson has a nice matchup tonight, but I'm a little afraid that Derek Williams is going to get the play time as a stretch four tonight.
Yeah, so both these guys they've been so inconsistent. And you have basically Jason Thompson looking around at some of his price around the industry. He has a good matchup, I agree. And going up against Terrence Jones there, I really like Terrence Jones also. But Jason Thompson, it depends on the site that you're wanting to look at him at. But I don't know. I would really kick myself if I recommended Jason Thompson. What I'm going to say is that I don't hate it. I don't hate the play, and I get that he is a good value play tonight because, like we said, there's just not a lot of power forwards out there.
And how do you feel about Isaiah Thompson tonight?
Yeah, I really like Isaiah Thomas tonight going up against the Rockets. Like I said, without Patrick Beverley, Thomas has just been incredible, and there's no sign of him slowing down. This is going to be an up and down game, and one of those games where I really like him. Now, I like him on non-efficiency sites more than I do efficiency sites. So.
And I know on the Star Street pick 5 he's matched up with Lillard. How do you feel about him in that matchup?
What's the matchup on Star Street?
He's up against Lillard.
Lillard versus Isaiah. It's funny because Crazy Gaby and Leone I saw on Twitter, Gaby was trying to get him to go into a wager. I would have to go Isaiah Thomas over Lillard. Lillard on a back-to-back playing. I mean, I know he's not going up against Westbrook, but playing in Oklahoma City, I would just have to go with the upside with Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, man.
Awesome, 4th and 20. Appreciate you calling in, and have a great 2014.
You too.
Do you like Farmar or Jackson more? Definitely Jackson. Definitely. Jackson is still a good value play on most sites. I really like him. Here we go, Mr. 508 area code. Yes, you're on the line.
Hello.
Hello, who is this? Hello. We heard you say hello, and that was about it.
Hello.
Hello, who is this?
Hi.
Hi.
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. Is this Mike Leone?
No. Different Mike.
A different Mike. Mike,
Yeah.
What's your daily fantasy tag?
It's Rago.
Oh, Rago. Very nice. Do you have a comment or question for the show? Rago, you've been around for a while, man.
Yeah, I got a question for you. On draft day, looking for a minimum salary guy. Looks like slim pickings out there. There was talk of Luke Ridnour starting, but that just makes me want to throw up in my mouth. And there's like Sean Williams out there. Are you looking at any minimum salary guys on draft day?
Yeah, so was talking about Sean Williams. He's just so risky, because we don't know yet about what that lineup is going to look like and how healthy Farmar is, and if Wes Johnson is out, I think it does add to Sean Williams' value. So for minimum salary, I don't mind Sean Williams. On draft day specifically, he probably is the number one guy as far as value goes. And then after that, Giannis is the Greek alphabet. He's the guy that I would target next. But both those guys are good. Someone called in asking about the Spurs backups. You have Marco Bellinelli, who's at 56.50, and he's even if this game is not a blowout, he's capable of putting up enough points at that shooting guard spot. The problem is not with shooting guard tonight. The problem is with power forward and center. So that's where you want to try to find your value. And unfortunately, there's just not a ton of value there. Larry Sanders is really the only guy.
Yeah. All right. Thank you much.
Awesome, Rago. Have a great 2014.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Question from Hellamabobin. I accidentally added an extra Bob. Man, Mr. 508 is wanting to get on. LA or Boogie tonight? I think you'd have to go LA if everything is the same. Yes, Mr. 508, this is your last time.
All right, can you hear me this time?
I can, yeah, for sure.
Okay, I have a strategy question.
Okay.
When you look across the board and you have high-priced plays that you love in 4 positions,
okay,
how do you choose which one to take? Is it just value at the other positions?
Yes. So,
so
really,
let's say tonight you love Harden, you love Durant, you love Aldridge, you love Cousins. But you can't play them all. So where do you go cheap and where do you take the guy you love?
So it's all about positional value, and that's what we talk about a lot, is kind of gauging the plays for that day and looking at who you like at the different positions. So today is a day where you don't really like a lot of the big men. What side are you thinking about playing on?
I'm playing on Draft Street and FanDuel today.
Draft Street and FanDuel. So yeah, on FanDuel, it's you're locked into those positions. So that there's definitely a lot more positional where you have to kind of dissect it more. And the power forward position on FanDuel tonight is bare. I mean, so that's really what you want to get locked down. So the 4 that you mentioned were Harden, Cousins. Was Dwight one of them?
No. Cousins at center, Aldridge at power forward, Durant at small forward, Harden at the shooting guard.
So in dissecting that, what I would say is that if you're looking at those 4 guys, Aldridge will be the most important.
Because there's no one else in his position you like.
Right. And so there's other guys at the other positions, but since the positional value, since there's not a whole lot of options at that power forward, then its importance is the greatest. So that would definitely be the way that would go tonight, and that's how I evaluate it, is going on different what you like differently. Now, Draft Street's a different animal because you can play
more flexibility.
Yeah, 4 point guards, or you could play three small forwards. I mean, you could just go it's just guard and forwards and then 1 center. So on that site, what I usually like to do is nail down a few of my cheap plays, and then I find the guy that I like the most on the forward side, and then I kind of fill in the lineup. That's what I would do in a night like tonight, because there's lots of guard options.
Last thought, what's your thought on Sanders tonight?
I really like him, and I have him in pretty much all of my cash games. So if you want to go Sanders, do it, and we can ride or die together.
Great. Thank you very much.
Can you call back next time we have a show? The chat is loving you and your Boston accent.
No problem.
Can you say, Davis,
Park
sorry.
the car in Harvard Yard?
Yeah, say that again, please.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Can you tell Davis Maddock that you're sorry that his car broke down in the harbor?
That happens. It broke down in the harbor.
Oh, man, good stuff. Really appreciate you calling in, and hope you have a great 2014.
Thank you, bye.
All right. Man, that was worth it. All those missed calls from Mr. 508 was worth it. Someone please call and ask Dave how he feels about gay cousins. I really like... for some reason, I really like Rudy Gay tonight. I don't know what it is. He's coming off that big shot last night or last game. Chat says, I'm late, but someone had to call in pretending to be Condia already, right? No one has pretended to be Condia just yet. So, still time, though. It'd be crazy if Condia actually called in. And I know what area code that he's in, so I could double check it to see maybe if it was really him. Militar line 2. Either of those guys. Except we know we could probably find. I'm sure that on a message board somewhere there is Rick Militar's actual phone number, or his mom's phone number, or his dad's, who's a dentist, phone number, something like that. I'm sure people already have it. Maybe he'll use a burner. Oh, the Wire for the win. Amir Johnson or Boozer? Oh gosh. I would probably say Boozer, and that pains me to say it, but he's coming off a decent game, and Amir is just he's just hot or cold, and heaven help me, but I think the Boozer is the safest play. Yikes. If you have any more questions, feel free to call in and or ask him in the chat. Please analyze Dwight versus Boogie tonight. The problem with Dwight versus Boogie is that their salaries are inflated everywhere. And you look at... I'm just not real comfortable in using either of them. If I had to use one, I guess it would be DeMarcus Cousins. You have to worry about in this game, though, foul trouble with either of these guys. I just don't think... I would rather spend the guard position and go cheap, go Larry Sanders. When he's like half the price, then that's different. Howard, 8.9K on FanDuel. Yeah, for less than 9,000 on FanDuel, you can roll the dice for sure. But I'm personally staying away from both those guys tonight. So there you have it. You just look at them; they're going to go up against each other. Dwight is not getting a lot of blocks lately, so you can't count on a lot of defensive stats against Boogie. And DeMarcus is just going to go. You're always afraid in a game like tonight he's going to get thrown out. So if I had to go one way, though, I'd go DeMarcus. Caller, you are on the line.
Hey. First time, long time.
Who is this?
This is Robert.
Robert. And what is your DFS name?
Secret Santa.
It's what now?
Secret Santa.
Secret Santa is your daily fantasy name?
Yes, it is.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for calling in. That's like one of my top 5 favorite names, Secret Santa.
I'm glad you like it.
How did you come up with the name Secret Santa? As far as, was it around Christmas time that you were registering for a site?
Halloween, actually.
Makes sense. What's your question?
Who would you prefer tonight, Nick Young or Mr. Meeks? Pretty much the same price everywhere.
Yeah, I think that my advice would be play them both, really. But if you're forcing me to play just one, then I would probably look towards Nick Young.
And you prefer both of them over the Greek alphabet?
No, I would. Well, okay, so you're probably talking about a site like FanDuel where you have to play 2 of the 3. No, I would want to make sure you have the Greek.
They're pretty much that 45 to 5,500 range, all 3 of them.
Yeah, so if you had to choose one, I would choose Giannis. Then I would choose probably Nick Young and then Jody Meeks. All 3 guys are great. I also like James Harden tonight a lot, and he fills a lot of shooting guard spots across the different sites. So shooting guard is really, I feel like you can construct a team and then fill in shooting guard last or second to last because there's just so many different options there tonight.
Well, sweet, man. Have a happy new year.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you watching the show. How long have you been playing daily fantasy?
Since Halloween.
And how has your experience been thus far?
It's been great.
Like, do you normally play? Like, do you come from a background of season-long fantasy? What has been like the best thing about daily fantasy in your mind?
Lots of action, and it's legal.
That's what I said about my honeymoon night too. Oh man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Secret Santa, and hopefully when we do one of these call-in shows, you can call in again.
Ho ho ho.
Ho 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 to you.
Ho ho ho.
Too.
Bye.
Oh man. Ask him what costume he used. I'm not sure if Papa was talking about me and my honeymoon or Secret Santa on Halloween. I guess Terrence Jones is extra in play given the potential Dwight foul trouble. Yeah. So Terrence Jones is a guy who plays better when their team is healthy, and obviously they're healthy, and I like him tonight with limited power forwards for sure. Henson or Gasol, don't go with Henson. Gasol, if you're torturing me to give you an answer, because Henson is out. So you don't want to play Henson because he is not going to be playing tonight. Is Hill going to start at the 4 tonight? We don't know. We don't have that information yet. What about Ibaka? Ibaka also kind of fills that role. If you look at his game logs, man, the guy is just he hasn't been the player that we thought he might be this year. Without Russell Westbrook, though, he is among the middle to higher options. He's one of the best, and a lot of people are off of him because they've been burned by him. But I have Ibaka in a few of my cash game lineups, so I don't mind them at all. Favorite games to target, Dave. I don't know if you're talking about like games tonight or daily fantasy games in general. If you're talking about games tonight, it's the Kings, Rockets, and it's the Lakers and Bucks. Those are the two big games that I'm targeting tonight for sure. If you're talking about daily fantasy games, then I like cash games. I like the rapid fire and pick 5 games that are really easy to play. And I like the survivor games. Those are the games that are really fun. And the bracket game also kind of fills into that survivor role because you're talking about a period of time. So I feel like that's what my strength is. So like for football, Fantasy Feud, I didn't win one of those contests, but I was high enough where I was consistent enough to where I was able to win at the end. The same with like the Fish Cake King Challenge. That was really important to a lot of people because of the consistency factor and playing against some of the top other names. And our good buddy Drew Dinkmeyer won that contest. And it was important to everybody playing. Maybe not towards the end when a lot of people were kind of out of it, but it was important because it kind of separates you from everybody else, knowing that daily is an individual daily sport, but you can play it over a period of time and see if you're the best or not. Some questions. Manu versus the Alphabet. I just got so much love for the Alphabet tonight. Mirza or Lamb tonight on FanDuel. I'd have to go Jeremy Lamb. He's the guy who's coming off a really good game, and against Portland, I think that he has the edge over Mirza, especially with the news about Karolinko coming back tonight. How does Drew bench Middleton, the bastard? I think you're missing a comment in there, CB, but it's Larry Drew. That's why. Might have been mentioned this already, but is Powell safe at 6K on DraftKings for cash games? Yes, I think for 6,000 he is safe on DraftKings because it would have to take like there being something in warm-ups or where he wasn't feeling good for me to not feel good about that. At 6,000, he should do enough damage, and if he says he's going to play tonight, then I don't think they would have already come out this early to say he's going to play if there's going to be something wrong where he's not going to play. So, I think he gets 30 minutes tonight. Will you use Urshon on Draft Street tonight, Dave? No, I learned my lesson on Monday. Or was it Sunday? Let's see. 19 Massey. I'm sorry, there's so many questions I probably skipped over it. Derek Williams, 3.8K on FanDuel. Probable to start against Rockets. Thoughts? Yes, that would be my thought. Yes. I don't really know about Derek Williams. He's a guy that I don't think you really count on, but if you're looking for a punt play on FanDuel, he's okay, but he certainly carries a lot of risk with him because he's going to be, you just, at that power forward spot, if someone asks Jordan Hill or Derek Williams, I'd have to go Jordan Hill probably. That's where I'd go. DeRozan or Harden? I would definitely go with Harden. You like Parsons tonight? Yes, I like everybody in that game tonight, but Parsons is on that small forward spot. If you need some options at that small forward spot, I have no problem with using Parsons. If Wes Johnson is out, will Sean Williams get a bump in minutes? I think he will because he's that game on Sunday. Whenever Wes Johnson was in, he had a few defensive lapses, didn't play good at all, and so they took him out. And the guy that they replaced him with was Sean Williams, and he had a really good game and did well at the minutes he received. So the problem is you have to look at that lineup. We just don't know. Like, are they going to go with Williams at the 3 and then Hill and Gasol? We don't know. That's the biggest thing. But I think Williams is going to get the same amount of minutes or less than he did last game with Powell coming back. Meeks or Giannis? Giannis over Meeks. Like them both, though. Joe Johnson or Swaggy P? Swaggy P, faux show. Luol Deng must play at 5.6K if he returns tonight. Yeah, I think so. If he returns tonight, he's going to play and play a lot. Must play might be a little strong for me, but he's definitely in play. Small forward on FanDuel sucks. Might be forced to play Parsons. Durant is just too pricey. Yeah, Parsons is fine on small forward or on FanDuel at small forward. Durant, I will say that if you can play Durant, try to. If it comes down to playing Durant or LaMarcus Aldridge, I would probably still want to go Durant. But Batum is a decent defender, so I don't know. You would take your shots with it. Lots of talk about Swaggy P. Let's get to DraftDay, our sponsor. If you haven't looked already, they have the rapid fire, and tonight is a great night for the rapid fire. If you don't want to play a lot, if you don't have a good feeling about stuff, jump on over to DraftDay and play that rapid fire. It's always a good time. So the rapid fire today, the first matchup is Lillard versus Kyle Lowry. We haven't really talked about Kyle Lowry coming off that monster game, but you have to consider who it was against. He obviously played a lot, and there's just no defense with that Knicks point guard situation. So given the slow pace, giving the low amount of points, I would go with Lillard against Lowry. Williams against Jackson. This is a trap game, I feel like, but you would have to go. You'd have to go with Williams, I think, over Reggie Jackson, and that is a definite trap game. Chandler Parsons versus Pau Gasol. Given the fact that three-pointers, you have a point for each three-pointer, I would go Parsons in that high-scoring game against Gasol, who we just don't know about his health. Jeremy Lin versus Nick Young. Whew. Not a lot of talk about Jeremy Lin, just because he's definitely interesting. We have Jeremy Lin at. Let's see. I just don't know if I can count on him tonight. So I'll have to go with Nick Young on the opposite side. again, you have the 3-point factor. And Jody Meeks versus Giannis. This is a good one. I'll have to go with my boy Giannis. I've stuck with him all game, and that's what I will continue with. So there you go. That's the rapid fire. A caller called in earlier and asked about some of the plays, and we mentioned Giannis, Larry Sanders, Sean Williams is probably the best punt play there on draft day. If you haven't looked at Scott's article yet, the day before tomorrow, he's got some other guys. Isaiah Thomas as a lock, and the shooting guard spot, he doesn't have a lock at all. So maybe he doesn't like it. He says the worth the risk is James Harden. So I would agree with that. I really like James Harden tonight. The lock, of course, is Kevin Durant at small forward and solid for Chandler Parsons. And then you can read about the power forward and center spot. That's what we like to call a teaser. Oh, man. I knew it was Giannis. I always say Giannis, though. I'm not sure how long it's going to be before I get that right. But it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know how to say it. Don't try to embarrass me. It's not going to work, Mr. Tuttle. 4th and 20 says, I have a sneaky feeling Larry Drew starts Ersan, but ends up playing Middleton all game anyways. Well, that's kind of what happened last game. Ersan really didn't get a whole lot of minutes. I think you're overestimating the AK-47 impact on Mirza. Mirza has been playing all stretch 4 with Blatchout. Plus, there's garbage time minute bonus. I'm not sure what the over... Okay, so you're saying that AK-47's return is not going to affect Mirza that much. And that might be true. I just think we don't know yet what that lineup is going to look like. And you have news. I just lost my laptop. How did it black out on me? I don't know. At least you can see me. Oh well. Okay, I can see you guys now. But yeah, we just don't know what that lineup is going to look like tonight. So you have news about Plumlee getting more minutes. You've got Garnett. So you've got AK-47. Is he what spot is he going to play? There's just a lot of stuff up in the air with that rotation. That's why I don't feel good about Mirza. I just think that there are potentially other plays out there. So we'll see tonight what that lineup and what that rotation looks like. All right, guys, I think that will do it. Man, today, just with all the craziness happened before the show started, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. But it was a fun show. I really appreciate everybody calling in. And feel free to hit us up on Twitter, stick around in the chat. And yeah, cheers to you guys. And let's see. If I can get my music playing. Not the Bulls. Not the Bulls. Oh, man. If you're not already, follow us on Twitter at InsidersDFS. I am David Kitchen at Soccer Dave. We also, Ben Pritchett, Natural Slugger, has his college football article out. Ben has been the best college football analyst for Daily Fantasy Sports. If you want to have some action with these bowl games, make them a lot sexier than they are, feel free to watch last night's show that we had. It's on youtube.com/fantasyinsiders, and go read his article. It's good stuff. And as far as Thursday, there's a whole slate of NBA games. So we won't have a show tomorrow, but Thursday we will have a show. Tomorrow's games start early, and everybody can be off and be with their families on New Year's. But Thursday, rare Thursday, where there's a ton of games, that will be a fun show. So join us at 3:30 Eastern Time then, and I think that will do it. Year's Eve. If you're drinking, don't drive. That would be my last comment to say to you guys. Love you all, and see you next year.